gang, Space Time Badass here, and I think it's been a while since we've had just kind of an informal powwow kind of conversation, so I thought it would be nice to do one of those. If you're a newer subscriber here, this will be more along the lines of kind of my older format of videos where I'm just kind of talking, but it won't be more than probably 10 minutes or anything, hopefully. But I thought it would be fun to share why I lucid dream. Now, how I started lucid dreaming, I think is interesting, but it's not near as interesting as the reasons that I continue to lucid dream for. So, to start, I've always been really interested in dreams, and as a kid, I had these recurring dreams. I was absolutely in love with this girl in my kindergarten class, and I had these recurring dreams about her, and we'd be like in the middle of my street, and she would be wearing this wedding dress. Just like imagine a kindergartner wearing like a wedding dress. And I was like swooning. I was like, I'm so in love with you. And it was just really funny. I was like 6 or 7. And after a while, I never became lucid, but I realized kind of what had started it is sort of like obsession with this girl. I would say her name every night over and over again as I was falling to sleep, and thus I would have dreams about her. And then I kind of clicked it together. Man, I was obsessed with this girl, and it's scary and it's embarrassing, but hopefully at the very least it's amusing for you. But that was my first kind of glimpse into the possibilities of the dream world. And after I figured that out, I began to pick up other words and phrases of things that I wanted to dream about. And I would just kind of make these short phrases and I would repeat them over and over again as I would go to sleep, and I would be able to choose what I was going to dream about. And I thought it was really cool as a kid, and I didn't think that there was anything more to it. And I was just kind of like, hey, cool, I can have dreams about what I want to dream about. And it gave me a nice feeling of power in my life as a child. Now, it was many, many years later before I realized kind of like the full implications of where I was headed and what it all meant. I didn't fool around with dreams. You know, I did that for like a year or two, and then, you know, as a child, you get interested in other things, do other things, and things fall by the wayside. But after a while, I guess when it all really started was I had a psychedelic experience. And after this like 5-hour long psychedelic experience, I've returned to baseline. I'm sober now, normal, maybe still a little bit in the afterglow. And I go to bed. And that night, I have my first series of lucid dreams. And I just woke up, and it was like the craziest thing. Like, I remember like one of the first ones I had. I went to bed, and I was just in the bottom half of my house in the living room, looking around at stuff very passively. And then, like, I wasn't really having thoughts in the dream until this happened, and I was just like, wait a minute, I'm in bed asleep right now. What's going on? And then I woke up, went back to sleep, and then it kind of clicked. I was like, okay, I'm dreaming now, and I found myself again in my living room and had a really long, interesting lucid dream. And this continued on for about a month. So every night for about a month, maybe a little bit longer, I was having a lucid dream pretty much every night. And if I didn't have one night, it seemed like other nights I would have multiple lucid dreams in a night. And on average, we have 3 to 6 dreams per night. So there's a lot of time there to have dreams. Well, rather, there's a lot of time there to have lucid dreams. So there was that period of time that I really consider kind of my formal education on lucid dreaming, because I think it's a lot like what natural lucid dreamers must experience, where you just go to sleep and you lucid dream without trying, and you don't have to worry about stabilizing your dream. You don't have to worry about rushing to do everything or being calm. not being too idle so that you don't lose the dream. There was no concern or fear for losing the dream for me at that time. The dreams were vivid and stable, and all I had to do was experience what I wanted to do. And after this kind of period, well, actually during this period, I had every experience under the sun, from superpowers and leisure and fun and sex, all the way to glimpses into my psyche and who I was, my fears. And I had experiences in that time that just really clicked with me and made me realize that lucid dreaming is more than just having sex, flying around, having fun in your sleep. There's some real work to be done here, and there's a lot of good to be gained from that, because in that month, I grew more than I had in years before. At the end of that period, I stopped having the dreams, and that's when I had to research into lucid dreaming. And then I started doing the reality checks and keeping a dream journal and doing the techniques to have lucid dreams. And then that started to be successful for me after a little while. And I once again began lucid dreaming. And it's been about 7 years since I started doing the practices on my own, like actually doing the practices to get lucid dreams rather than just having them. Excuse me. And in that time, I've had a lot more profound experiences and done a whole lot more stuff. And still I'm learning about lucid dreaming. And I feel like that's the thing with lucid dreaming. Like, that's where it's at, is like personal growth, self-improvement, self-help. Everybody always wants to talk about the fun stuff. But for me, my passion is ignited when I get to talk about how lucid dreaming helped me grow. Because I don't know how long you've been following this channel, but in my older videos, you can see my demeanor and see that I'm visibly less happier than I am now, and how sad of a person I was back then. Like, for most of my life, I've been really depressed and in other times suicidal. And about 3 years ago was my worst bout of that, where I knew it was over. Like, I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like this, but I don't know how to explain it other than just a switch just flipped, and I knew that the way I was going to die was going to be by my own hands, and it was going to be soon. So what I did is I got all my stuff together, and I started giving stuff away, and I started selling things, and I started throwing things away, and I was minimizing all my objects so that my family would only have to worry about my body and none of my objects to get rid of. But luckily, through a series of lucid dreams that really gave me a lot of good insight for my life, I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. And there have been times that I've backstepped. There have been times where I would also be dead right now rather than talking to you if my girlfriend didn't get off work early. Like, I was up in the garage in my best dressed duds with my perfect little suicide note. And because that was a big thing for me, the note had to be right. And that was kind of what made me realize that I was going to do it, because I got this note right. And for years I had tried to get this suicide note just right. But I was like, I'm not doing it unless I get the note right. And I finally got it right. And so I hung a noose in the garage, got in my best dress clothes, had the suicide note laid out. Well, it wasn't so much a noose. It was actually like a very long extension cord tied to the end of a really heavy desk, like one of those woodworking desks in the garage that you can kind of like slide around, but very heavy. Tied it around the leg of that, threw it up over the beam, tied a little slip knot in it, climbed up to the top of the ladder, put it around my neck, and then she pulls in. And I had done this in the garage with the door open so that I would be found quickly after it happened, so it didn't stink the place up. And then she just drove right in, and the garage door was like right there, and she could see me up there with around my neck. And that was a big turning point. That it didn't happen in a lucid dream, but the things that happen in lucid dreams helped me to understand more of what my life was supposed to be for me. So without lucid dreaming, well, without that one incident, I might be dead, but also without lucid dreaming, I would have tried it again and again and again until I was no longer a person living on this planet able to speak to you now. Lucid dreaming gave me the change of perspective that I needed to understand that I could do more with my life, that I could be who I wanted, I could do and experience the things that I wanted, that I could help others. And I just wouldn't trade it for anything else. So that's why I continue to lucid dream and how I started lucid dreaming. I guess it just comes down to the question, is it enough to be conscious and just go throughout your life living as everyone else? Or is it worth it to look within yourself and understand what's going on inside of you so that you can then see the changes you need to make in your life, make those changes, improve, and feel happier? So should we just be conscious beings on this planet, which is very lucky that we are, but is it enough to be conscious, or do we owe it to ourselves to evolve? Do we owe it to ourselves to learn about ourselves and grow and become happy and self-assured in who we are so that we can then go on and help others to be happy and self-assured in who they are? And that's why I do what I'm doing here. I've been doing this for 4 years. Haven't made a dime from it yet, but I absolutely love it, and I couldn't imagine a life where I don't talk about lucid dreaming and help others do it online and talk to people, and overall trying to further the concept of lucid dreaming to tell people this is the change that it can make in your life. You can use it to overcome mental and emotional traumas and issues, and you can practice waking life skills, and you can do so many wonderful things and have so many great conversations that will give you new perspective and a new lease on life. And that's why I continue to do it, and that's why I want everyone to do it. I kind of got a little grim here, guys, but I thought it would be interesting for you guys to know where I'm coming from, how it started, why I keep doing it. And I guess it got a little personal, but you know what? I think that's okay. Because I think if this video goes out and it helps anyone understand that maybe lucid dreaming can help them improve in no matter how small of a way, then I think it's worth it. It's valuable. So yeah, guys, more lucid dreaming stuff coming up in the future. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, you can see me on Twitter and Instagram at SpaceTimeBadass. Don't forget to check out Team Lucid Dream, youtube.com/Team Lucid Dream. Awesome lucid dreaming project I'm a part of. And until next time, take it easy.
The beginning of the lucid dreaming industry. I mean, we've seen Remy, but that's low-key as shit gets when you're talking about this sort of thing now. This is the device.